Hey everyone, Chad here from Here We Go with Kevin and Chad. And it's just me again today. I'm continuing my series on top 5 tips and tricks for finding low-cost airfare. We are on tip number 2, which I like to call my multi-airport search. So right before we get into that, if you would, go ahead and hit that like button down there. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you hit the bell notification so you get notified on all of our any videos that we post. Again, so we're on tip number 2. If you haven't seen tip number 1, go ahead and click the link right above. You can go ahead and mark that and go watch tip number 1 as well. But if you guys are ready, I say we get right into it, into tip number 2 today. Here we go. Let's get right into tip number 2, my multi-airport search. You know, you might be thinking, oh, well, just look at other airports in the city that you're flying out of or flying into and see if you can find better rates. Like if you're in LA or New York or wherever, and that's good. You should definitely always do that. Always check those airports to see if there's better deals. I'm actually talking about looking at airports that you can get to, fairly easy with either a bus or a train. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've done this. I've done it in the States, numerous times in Europe. I've done it in Asia. But a lot of times you can, the city you're flying out of, it's pretty expensive. And then you can find quite a bit cheaper in a city that's not too far away. The main thing with this technique is you've got to determine what your time value of money is. Everybody's going to be different on this. And so you just kind of have to figure it out on how much you need to save. If you're really on a budget, you can also try to find, trains or buses that go overnight to the destination that you're looking to get to. And it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. You get the travel to the destination that you're going to, plus you get your overnight stay. So you don't waste part of your day. With travel, it's overnight. So hopefully you can sleep a little bit. And then when you get to your destination, you can either fly out or that's where you're headed or whatnot. So sometimes overnight, they're even cheaper because they are overnight. Just to give you some examples of times that I've done this, I did it. I was in New York. I was trying to get back to Los Angeles. It was about $250, which isn't terrible to get from New York to LA one way. But at the time, it was definitely more than I wanted to spend. So I started looking at different airports that I could probably get to fairly easily that had, maybe better airfare. And I ended up finding a flight out of Philadelphia for like $38. So I ended up getting a train. I think it was $20 or $30 into Philadelphia. You're looking at $60-$70 from New York to LA as opposed to $250. So saved a fair amount there. It works. I used it. Like I said, all over Europe, I've used it. I was in Croatia and needed to get to Denver within a couple of days. And I mean, a one-way flight, I was in Zagreb. A one-way flight was like $1,600 from Zagreb to Denver. Not the most known route, but I ended up finding a flight out of Vienna that went through London and then direct from London to Denver. And it was like $239. But basically I had to get to Vienna, and I think I got a Flixbus for 10 euros. So 10 euros, $12 up to Vienna, and then 230 into Denver, $240 compared to $1,500. So it definitely can save you a lot of money. Instead of giving you all examples of what I've done, let me give you a live example. just so you can actually see what I'm talking about in person. If you saw the first, my first tip, you know that I like to use Google Flights. We're gonna go from San Antonio, Texas. So we're gonna fly into LAX. All right, and we're gonna do in September. Let's go a little further out. We'll just do September 6th. Okay, September 6th. This is pretty good, actually. 123, we got 3 different options. From San Antonio, that's actually a pretty good price, 123 bucks. But for the purpose of the example, let's just see if we can, get anything cheaper. So from San Antonio, so what you'll want to do when you're in these kind of cities, you know, a lot of times maybe you'll want to bring up Google Maps. You can find different cities that are close. You know, like I know the area. I know, you know, Houston's a few hours away. Austin's a few hours away. Dallas a little further. Once you kind of have an idea, then you can start looking at those different airports. You know, you could so you could put in Houston on the 6th, 26 bucks. That's pretty good. Austin is close. On the 6th, $18. I don't think we're going to beat that. It's a good time too. $18 at 7:30 p.m. That gives us plenty of time to get to Austin. Now you've got to find your way from San Antonio to Austin. You can check trains, buses. I like to use, and I've used this in Europe. I've used this in the States. Megabus is good. Flixbus is another one. They're real big. Flixbus is really big in Europe, but they're getting bigger here in the States. I've used it a few times, California and Vegas and stuff like that. But so we're in San Antonio. We need to get to Austin. We're just going to do one way again, September 6th. So let's see. Okay, so it's 8:05 a.m. Get in at 10:15 for $19.99, 20 bucks. That's perfect. I mean, it's a little early, but $20 plus the 18 we have here, 38 bucks. We're going to get from San Antonio to LA. Now I know it's not a huge, I mean, we could have done the 123. I mean, this is again, just an example. Like I said, sometimes you might save 50, sometimes you might save 100, sometimes you might save several hundred. So this is just a good one for example. Now, once you've got this though, you've got to find out, very important. So you can see here, this gets into 1500 San Jacinto Boulevard. So you've got to find out where that is. Now, a lot of times these Megabuses, Flixbuses, they do actually go to the airports. So you can check that. This one is not. This is still about, it's about 15 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes. I've been there, I've done it from there. You can find a bus from here. It's a few bucks and it takes about 45 minutes. With these times, we would have plenty of time if we got in at 10:15. This is actually right by UT. So you could walk around, whatever, but we'd have plenty of time to get to the airport with a bus for this 7:30. You could take an Uber. At this point, you know, you're still looking at maybe a $10 or $15 Uber. And you're still 38. If you took a $15 Uber, 40, 55, you're still at 55 bucks. You're still saving money over the previous one that we had. Otherwise, you can take a $3 bus to the airport, 45 minutes, and you're right around $45 to get from San Antonio to LA. All right, so that pretty much wraps up tip number 2, my multi-airport search option. It could take a little bit of extra work, but it definitely can save you in the long run. A few bucks, $100, $1,000, depending on where you're going. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for us. It definitely helps us out a lot. All right. Take number 49. All right, this is my last one, I promise.